Well. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Jolly Talks. I am an hour late today and a couple days late. I did not go live last Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. I was busy doing, I don't know, Jake stuff. If you're a personal friend of mine on Facebook, you already know what I was doing. Today is Monday, May the 3rd, 2021, and the NFL draft is officially beyond us. A lot of teams found their future stars. A lot of teams made the wrong choice. A lot of teams don't know what the fuck they're doing. I'm here to break that down over the next 8 days. I'm going to start with the AFC, and I'm going to move into the NFC next week. But we're going to break down the AFC East first because we all know I'm a Patriots fan. So we're going to get to the Patriots towards the end of this episode. We're going to start with the Buffalo Bills, the reigning, defending, one-of-a-kind AFC East champions. The almost AFC champions. They took the East. And what do they need on their team right now to make them better than Kansas City? Well, for starters, probably a wide receiver, a solid number 2, 3 wide receiver. That's definitely important. They definitely need a better running back than Zach Moss, TJ Yeldon. Their weak point was their running game. Now, did they address their run game in their draft class? As a matter of fact, they did not. They specifically went after their offensive line and their edge rush. The Buffalo Bills played this draft almost perfectly. Had they picked up a running back in the later rounds, I would have said, boom, send it. We have a great draft for Buffalo. Potentially the AFC champions. But they didn't pick up a running back, which means they either believe in Zach Moss a little too much because he did not show anything last year, or they are going to pretend to be contenders this year with the likes of the Dolphins on the rise. The Patriots seem to have a squad together, and the Jets are still a few years out from competing. Gregory Rousseau is going to be a problem in the NFL, though, and that was the first-round pick for the Buffalo Bills. Gregory Rousseau on an already stacked secondary with a solid run defense. Gregory Rousseau adds that piece that they were missing in the pass rush. That is what is important right now. If they're going to focus on defense, then that's what they should have focused on, and that's what they did. They spent the middle of the draft working on offensive linemen, grabbed a couple of tackles. They grabbed a wide receiver in the 4th or 5th round. It's Marquez Stevenson. I don't have the exact pick number. They grabbed a safety and a cornerback in the later rounds. Realistically, Buffalo, they're already a good team. They didn't lose many people. They just added a couple of big names or a couple of key pieces to what they needed to move forward. Let's move on to the Jets, just because specifically I like talking about the Jets and Zach Wilson. We walked into this draft. Everybody knew that Zach Wilson was going 2 overall to the New York Jets. If you thought otherwise, you need to get your brain checked, and I'm not entirely sure what you were thinking. We all knew Wilson was going to the Jets. This hype about Justin Fields, which we're going to get into next week, it wasn't happening. Justin Fields had no chance of going 2 overall. Justin Fields had no chance of going 3 overall. There was a chance of 4 if Atlanta traded out, but that didn't happen. Zach Wilson was the first of 4 in a row offensive players drafted by the Jets in this draft. All of them within the first 107 picks. They took Wilson. They took, screw this guy's name so bad. Elijah Vera Tucker, the offensive lineman. They took Elijah Moore, the wide receiver, and they took Michael Carter, the running back. So they knew their offense was absolute garbage last year, and they looked to address that. I would too. Then in the later rounds, they took three different cornerbacks. They didn't trust their secondary so much that they decided, all right, you know what we need? 3 whole new guys. Throw away the entire thing and start over. I absolutely understand where that thought process comes in because they were atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. The New York Jets pretty much walked into this draft and needed everything. I can't sit here and tell you that this one position on the Jets is safe and we don't need anybody. Jamal Adams ain't there anymore. Chad Pennington ain't there anymore. That team needed a complete overhaul, and they got it. Now, this is just the start. Like I said, they're a couple of years out from contending still. They aren't going to be instant contenders with Zach Wilson. In fact, actually, hot take here. Get ready. The New York Jets are going to Sammy D Zach Wilson's career, and he will not be good until he leaves New York. That is the truth. Zach Wilson is a good quarterback, but a good quarterback can't flourish in a bad system. And nothing about the Jets, Robert Saleh isn't going to fix them. It starts with ownership. Martin says the NFL draft was really good. We are specifically talking about the AFC East right now. So, Martin, what are your thoughts on the AFC East? Who did what? What do you like? What do you dislike? What stood out about the AFC East in this draft? Well, we wait on Martin's response. The Jets also took 2 linebackers in this draft. In the 5th round, they took Jamie Sherwood, and in the 6th round, Hamza Nursadine. I tried, guys. I failed, guys. It was not an easy name to pronounce under any circumstance. But the Jets walked into this draft knowing, well, we're kind of screwed. We don't have a team that will compete next year, but we have a team that can compete in a few years. That's provided they don't absolutely, unequivocally murder and destroy the career of Zach Wilson, which I firmly believe they are going to. And it's going to be beautiful because anytime the Jets screw up, I'm here for it. Who? What? Who are we talking about? Hamza Nasiri. Hamza Nasirildeen. I think it's Nasirildeen. I think I got it that. No, I don't. I have no idea how to pronounce. He was a 6th round draft pick. Guys, cut me a break. I don't need to know this guy. There's a good chance he'll barely make the team, if not go to the practice squad, or end up on the Patriots when he gets cut. Man. I'm 2 teams in and it's only taking me 10 minutes. We have a problem here. I guess I'll keep ranting about the Jets sucking. No, not really. Let's go to the Dolphins. Brian Flores in his 2nd draft. Oh, well. Oh, Martin, my man. Martin with the comment here. What are your thoughts on Mac Jones? I love the picks that we got. Even though we should have gotten a wide receiver, we improved on defense. That defense looks scary in New England. The Jets is the Jets, and at least they are building around Zach Wilson with offensive weapons. The Jets most definitely is the Jets. I'm saving the Patriots for last, so I will swing back to that. I'm going to do the Dolphins first, and I think the Dolphins potentially got the number 2 wide receiver in this draft class in Jalen Waddle. Good for them. Then they grabbed Jalen Phillips in the later first round. But the big one, in round 2, they got a first round talent, defensive back Jevon Holland out of Oregon. My man, I watched a good amount of his tape on NFL Network, and ooh, Dolphins had a good draft class here. They took Notre Dame offensive tackle Liam Eichenberg in the second round. We're by the way, 42 picks in, and they have 4 picks already. On pick 81 of round 3, they took New Hampshire native. He grew up like less than an hour away from where I grew up in New Hampshire. From Exeter, Hunter Long via Boston College. Forgot to mention the Boston College part. I learned that he was in the draft out of New Hampshire. I'm like, all right, I got to watch day 2, see where he goes. Goes to Miami. I don't know what to tell you, but as a New England Patriots fan growing up, presumably, going to Miami probably sucks. But he's in the NFL getting paid millions of dollars, so I guess it doesn't suck. After Hunter Long gets drafted by the Dolphins, they did not have another pick until round 7. Then they had 2 picks in round 7 where they took Massachusetts offensive tackle Larnell Coleman, who only allowed 1 sack in the 2020 season. Whew! Coleman really elevated his draft stock, specifically in his pro day in March. During his pro day, before that, he wasn't going to get drafted. What is... Martin, why do you have to do that to me? My man, Martin. I'm in the middle of a show here, Martin. You just gave me the worst news possible regarding wrestling. How can you play me like that? I ain't talking wrestling right now. I'm talking NFL draft, AFC East, and you're just like, let me just drop a bombshell here. I don't appreciate that, my man. Back to Miami. With their final pick 244, they took Jared Dokes out of Cincinnati. Quite frankly, doesn't even say his position. I have no idea who he is. Don't plan on knowing. More importantly, we need to get into the Patriots. All right. Let's get into the Patriots. Do I want to do this? All right. Martin, you said you were happy with the Patriots draft picks. I am happy with every single draft pick except Mac Jones. Pick 15 could have been anybody else on the draft board. They could have pulled the Raiders and taken a 3rd-round talent, and I would have liked it more than Mac Jones. I like my quarterbacks to be athletic. I like my quarterbacks to be accurate. I like my quarterbacks to be able to move a little when they need to. I like my quarterbacks to have 2 less DUI charges before they even get into the NFL than Mac Jones does. I like my quarterbacks to not absolutely suck. And I like my quarterbacks not to come out of fucking Alabama. When was the last time an Alabama quarterback actually was worth a damn in the NFL? Let's see. Alabama quarterbacks in the NFL. Well, Google doesn't want to help here. Let's see. I will go I don't need to go back to 1930. We'll start with like 1994. We have Jay Barker. Drafted by the Green Bay Packers in the 5th round of the 1995 NFL Draft. Guess what? Didn't do anything. Brian Bergendorf. Yep, that's a real name. Never made it to the NFL. Freddie Kitchens. Never made it to the NFL, but he was a coach. I don't want to talk about that. We've talked about that on other shows many times. Quite frankly, no starters. Nope, nobody. Okay, we had John Parker Wilson, who played for the Atlanta Falcons, Jacksonville Jaguars, and Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's it. Nothing special. Greg McElroy, drafted by the New York Jets in 2011. Didn't do much. A.J. McCarron, drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals in 2014. Useless. Blake Sims. Never made it to the NFL. Jake Cocker. Didn't go to the NFL. Cooper Bateman. Didn't go to the NFL. Blake Barnett. Didn't go to the NFL. Jalen Hurts is still a question mark. Tua Tagovailoa is still a question mark. Mac Jones. So Jalen Hurts, probably going to be a bust from that first season. Tua Tagovailoa, probably going to be a bust from that first season. So in the last, where did I start? I started with Jay Barker in 94. So in the last almost 20, 30 years, Alabama has exactly 0 NFL-ready quarterbacks. Why do we think Mac Jones is going to be the exception? Just because he was drafted to New England? So New England's going to just magically make this kid good, make this kid accurate, make this kid not suck. No. All right. Martin says, coming into the NFL draft, I hated Mac Jones, and I did not want him, and I wanted San Fran to take him. I was mad at the pick. After the pick, I looked at his tape, and I don't completely hate it. From what I've seen, Jones has a good arm, can throw, and is good in the pocket, so he has potential. I hated that we did not trade up for Justin Fields. I'm not going to say we should have traded up for Justin Fields, because what Chicago gave up to go up to 11 to take Justin Fields was astronomical. I'm glad we didn't trade next year's first-round pick just to get Fields. I'm cool with that. But I'd rather let Mac Jones sit and take something else more of need. I don't know. Maybe a wide receiver? I don't know. Maybe an offensive lineman? I don't know. Maybe not fucking Mac Jones. My friend Tori here says, go Chicago Bears. Well, I'll get into that in the next couple of days, but they're not going anywhere. So, we all know how much that I did not like the Mac Jones pick. I put a video on TikTok about me just... With that being said, I said specifically on Facebook, if the Patriots take Mac Jones, I am no longer a Patriots fan. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have to rep the new squad. The squad that looks good, the squad that had 2 first-round picks, did a great job in the draft completely, used free agency to their full advantage. I have to absolutely rep the squad that's looking real good, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I am now a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. Fuck the New England Patriots. Tori says, we win in the division. With no Aaron Rodgers, the Green Bay Packers are a wash. To be fair, we don't actually know what Jordan Love is yet. So, I mean, a lot is said for the fact that he was specifically a healthy scratch throughout the entire season last year. But more importantly, I'm now a Jaguars fan. I'm going to be watching every single one of their games. I'm going to, Yep, Trevor Lawrence is taking them to the Super Bowl. He's never lost a game in his career. What makes you think he's going to start now? Duval Nation, baby! Martin, I thought you were being sarcastic with that post. Yeah. So about that. The hat says it all, my man. For those of you that are going to be listening to this on the podcast, I put a Jacksonville Jaguars hat on when I said Jacksonville Jaguars fan. And under no circumstance am I changing my mind. Matt Jones can win the fucking Super Bowl this year with the Patriots for all I care. I'm repping the squad. The squad that's looking real good that we're going to talk about tomorrow. I'm going to cover the AFC South tomorrow. And I'm going to talk about my brand new favorite team, the fucking Jacksonville Jaguars. Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence are taking that team to the bowl, baby. It might not be this year, but they're taking that team to the bowl. I'll be back tomorrow at the normal time, and I'll be way more prepared. I really only wanted to talk shit tonight about the Patriots and put on the Jaguars hat. That's it. So I kept the AFC East very simple. I'm going to dive more in detail with the AFC South tomorrow. Everybody, make sure you be a friend, tell a friend. Make sure everybody knows I'm going live talking shit about the NFL draft and every team in the NFL and any potential baseball, basketball, and hockey news that may happen. And Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum both hurt each other. I'm going to end 8 minutes early. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great night.